think about the improvement that this team has made since Texas, what do you put your finger on as reasons 1, 2, 3, whatever, how many ever, that got you guys to this point?
I had to say just driving off our adrenaline and just staying positive throughout the whole season. Like after that Texas loss, we came back and that Monday practice and Tuesday practice was like the most positive practice that we had all year. Like it wasn't like they were bashing us at all. It was like, you guys are way better than you played, and it's going to be up to you guys and you senior leaders to get this thing right, because we can't go out there and play. You guys got to go out there and make things better. And us senior leaders, we made sure that week was the best practice we had.
Those, I'm trying to think, 24 hours or 22 hours before you go to practice that day, did you have a sense like this is going to be a great practice, this is how it's going to be, or how were you sort of before you get to that point of, oh my gosh, they're talking about how good we can be and maybe we can be that good? Like, what were those hours before you actually getting back to practice like for you?
It was like it was almost like 2 days all over again. We was like, the defense was like, we're ready to go dominate the offense, and the offense was like, we're ready to go dominate the defense. And it wasn't like we were worried about the next game. It was just we were worried about our singular things, and that was try to dominate the man in front of us in practice. So we were out there trying to dominate each other. Like me and Zeus were going ahead at like the whole practice, and me and Neil and offensive line, the defensive line just talking trash throughout the whole practice. And we were treating the practice like a almost in-game situation. And when we got to the game, it was kind of easy.
The last three games, the teams you've went up against, is there satisfaction in the fact that you guys have been able to shut those teams down, not let them score as many points as they typically do?
Yes, because you look forward to challenges. Like this defense, we have been looking forward to challenges all year. Like we set our goals whatever thing we so after every game we might have some bad, so it was like turnover margin. So one game we might not have got enough turnover, so the next game it was like we need 2 or more turnovers. So we just kind of focused on those singular things like that. Like we needed more pressure on the quarterback, we said, amongst the D-line and our rushers. We said we need to get more pressure on the quarterback. We need more interceptions. The DBs, they stepped towards it. So whatever challenges was tossed up in the air, we took full advantage of them.
It seems like the national perception still buys into the Big 12 doesn't play great defense. What would your response be to that?
I mean, the stats don't lie. I mean, our numbers are all flying across the internet right now. So, I mean, that don't lie. And if you watch the film, like us swarming to the ball, us making plays on defense, I mean, the film and our numbers don't lie. So we just let those speak for themselves.
You guys have won 7 games in a row, 6 of them by double digits in the one TCU game. Did you guys need a game like TCU, a kind of a down-to-the-wire game, just to go through a game like that with 2 games possibly ahead of you?
I guess you could say that, but we had a Tennessee game that went down to the wire, so we were kind of used to it and used to fighting through adversity. So we knew one of these games we was going to have to fight through some adversity. I mean, we were either going to be down or we was going to have to make a big play at the end of the game, and it was lucky that it was defense who got to make the big play against TCU.
How much did the experience of having 3 close losses last year help you guys with that?
I would say it helped us out a lot because the young guys were used to those situations and people weren't panicking as much. It was like, all right, we got to settle in and we got to think about how we're going to make this next big play, or we need to focus on our key and make sure that we're doing the right things. And nobody was in like panic situation where it was like, I need to hurry up and make a play right now. It was just sit back, kind of do your job, and then make a play.
Charles, you've been so much more consistent this year, a much more consistent playmaker. I'm curious, outside of just technique and playing harder and playing better, is there anything about kind of learning your way through, the sickle cell trait and kind of how to be a guy that could be out there more often or be rotated a certain amount? Anything that you learned this year about, over the last 4 years that can help you be a better player playing with that?
I would have to say this offseason, I had to work extra hard knowing that I had sickle cell, that I had to be in more shape than the average person. I knew I had to run extra gases or run every gasser harder than everybody else. So I would have to say this offseason, I made sure that I was in the best shape possible, and just the depth that we have on the D-line is really helping us out a lot. I mean, when I come off the field, we send DJ Ward in, and there's no drop-off. So knowing that DJ is going to come right in and keep the same play level, it helps me out a lot to know that I can sit out 2 plays and get all my rest and come back in that next play and go full throttle.
So, I mean, that was something in the offseason, just that was a emphasis of yours going in? You knew that's what you had to do?
Yes,
I mean, a lot of work
shape.
beforehand. You even got to the season if you wanted to be that type of player.
Yeah, me and Smitty, we talked about it all season. We said that, Tap, if you want to be at your best, that you have to be in the best shape you need to be in. You have to be as strong as possible because, you know, your sickle cell might wind you down towards the end of the season. So we made sure that everything was right.
How do you know when something's off with that?
Oh, you can feel it, like the shorter breath, and like I take a couple falls throughout the game. People might think I'm faking, but no, those are serious falls that I just need to I just need to catch my breath and just sit and get a little bit of oxygen and just make sure that it doesn't get out of hand.
I know Will Johnson's a Baltimore guy like you, so you're probably like to talk about him for a sec. But his inclusion in this defense, I mean, he really started getting a lot more snaps post-Texas. What role have you seen him play in the defense's evolution?
Oh, he played the big role. I mean, he shuts down whoever's in front of him. I mean, we know that whoever Will's on, that person's not going to get a catch, and we know if they try to throw a screenplay that he's going to break that up. I mean, he broke up so many screens this year. It's crazy that teams can't even get that little play started. What hurts teams throughout the game, that little screen that they run. So Will's has been shutting that down, and then he shuts down his defender. So we really needed that last year, and this year it really came in, played a big part.
Did you feel like it was just a matter of time before he got himself on the field and the kind of role that he now has for you guys?
Yeah, me and Zach, we kind of knew, like, we was like, Will, you just got to wait your time. I mean, you got to be patient. Like, your time's going to come, and when your time comes, got to take full advantage of it. And I mean, he started getting down on himself when he wasn't playing, and as soon as he got his opportunity, he took full advantage of it and made things happen.
So how is he a Baltimore guy like you, and how is he not a Baltimore guy like you?
I would have to say we're kind of the same guy. I mean, off the field, on the field, I probably talk a little bit more than him, but off the field, he talks a little bit more than me. He's a jokester. I mean, he likes to make people laugh and do little funny things where I'm just kind of laid-back guy who just like to relax a little bit.
You told me before the season started that you thought the offensive line would be the team's best position group. It's taken a while for that to develop, but how have you seen the improvement in them over the course of the year?
I mean, the running backs, you can see their numbers have been going through the wall. I mean, going through the roof. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know the numbers enough, but I think Joe and Samaje have had 100-plus rushing yards after the Texas game. And the O-line, I don't know how many. I think they gave up less sacks. So, I mean, pushing them in practice and just doing those little things, it really helped them out a lot. And you can see it on the field. I mean, they're putting up numbers. The numbers are going up fast.
Have you noticed a difference in maybe going up against Orlando in practice since the Texas game?
Oh, yeah, he's getting his confidence. I mean, I know it all season that he was going to be something amazing, and now he's getting his confidence, and he's playing smart. He's not getting those little dumb penalties. I mean, he didn't get one last night, so he's playing smart, and he's just a big force. I mean, 6'8", 370, 350. There's not too many people out there moving like him, so once we first saw him, we knew he was going to be something special.
From a defensive standpoint, I guess you understand how important it is for a team to have a big left tackle like that that can do that. What do you think he does for the offense?
He opens up holes. I mean, you know you can run it to his side, run it to his side. I mean, I remember the one play where Samaje went untouched. He blocked two people, and I don't even think he meant to block two people. I just know he wheeled that defensive end, and he's been so big, the linebacker just happened to get smushed in there with him, and Samaje ended up going untouched, and Didi had a great block downfield, but Zeus took the 2-for-1 out right there.
You guys do a lot of good on good, I know, in practice. Was there a point in the year where you remember kind of thinking to yourself, man, we really can't beat these offensive line guys like we once could?
Oh, man, I remember one time he hip tossed me, and I hit my knees, and I said, man, that kind of hurt my pride, because I'm like, this is a freshman. He just hip tossed me like he was a senior, and it was like, good gosh almighty, this is going to be a long 2 days. I mean, with a big 6'8", 370, sometimes I couldn't even put my hands on him because he's just so long, and it's just like I'm just reaching out there trying to grab him, and it was like, I can't wait for this fight to be over, kind of.
But during the season, I mean, like even after the Texas game, did you notice those guys starting to gel a little bit more?
Oh, yes, you can see it. And it just took Coach B putting some people in the right spots, and we knew Coach B was going to get it right. Wherever he goes, he always makes sure that O-line is a dominant group to be reckoned with. I mean, the way he coaches and just how he treats the game, he's going to get his offensive line right no matter where he's at. So we knew Coach B was going to get those guys right.
You back to the very first time you saw Samaje in the spring and the summer. What were your first reaction, first thoughts?
I could go back to when he was a recruit. I remember we was going up the elevator, and he hit the elevator so hard. We said, man, what's wrong with you, man? You going to break the elevator, we're going to be stuck. He hit the elevator so hard, it just was like, do, and the elevator just stopped, and everybody just stopped and looked at him like, is this somebody's father? Like, who is this guy? And he was like, no, I'm the new running back in town. We said, oh. And then I remember 2 days we went to Oklahoma during my sophomore year, and he got to running everybody over. So it's like he's cheating. You can't have a running back like Samaj and then have an offensive lineman trying to block you. By the time you throw off and you see that big back there, it's like you can't make a play on him, man. It's crazy.
The school's really pushing the Heisman for Baker. Just your thoughts on some. Have you seen some of the things they're doing, and just your thoughts overall on Baker's Heisman run? I
think he deserves a Heisman. I mean, you show me another player who did the things that Baker did this season. I mean, he's putting up 3+ touchdowns every game, so I don't think he's a player in the country who deserves it more than Baker.
Last question. Your senior year, Oklahoma hasn't been in the national conversation this late since 2008. Is this the way you really want it to go out? Is it playing like you really wish it would as being a senior?
Oh, yes, it's the way you want to start the way they're going now. I mean, we just starting now. We haven't even got to our first playoff game yet, so when we start that process, that's when the thing's really going to set in for us, I think.
I don't think anybody questions that you guys will be a part of the playoff. But as a player, do you pay enough attention to other teams that are in that mix where you're like, I'd really like to go against this guy, the Alabama running back or the Clemson quarterback? I mean, do you play that out a little bit in your mind?
Not really. We're just ready for whoever gets put in front of us. I mean, whoever get put in front of us is going to have to face us and stop the things that we do. So it's just kind of figuring out who we got first.
Where Joe Mixon was a year ago, all the hate he received last week, how special was it to see him go out and ball out against Oklahoma State the way he did?
It was real good. I saw on Twitter somebody had made a sign that was kind of hurtful, and I'm happy to see Joe break that big run. It was like he kind of shut up all the naysayers and all the haters. So I'm happy that Joe went out there and had a good game.
I mean, Bedlam's already a heated rivalry. Did all of that trash talk, all that hate, did that fuel you guys any more than it usually does?
Not really, because we were already pumped up for that game. We fed off our own energy. We started our own energy and just ran with it, so we just kind of used our own energy and filled ourselves.
It feels good to go out there, and Bedlam's usually a pretty close game, but you guys blew the doors off, and was it pretty surreal around the fourth quarter when you guys are comfortably just cruising along? And
that was a very surreal moment, especially for a rivalry game like that. And the last 2 games I've been in, they went right down to the wire. So to jump out on those guys like that and just smooth sailing throughout the fourth quarter, it was kind of like, wow, is this really it? Like, it was like kind of crazy to end your senior year like that, regular season.